ready for some football. I don't know about you. Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
As the calendar turns to August, it can only mean one thing. The NFL season is right around the corner. And with that in mind, the LouieTeeNetwork exclusives are back like cook crack. Choose from any of the three or all three of the LTN exclusives: Winners and Losers League, Soul Survivor Pool, Weekly Pick'em, all at your fingertips. Links are down in the description along with the video to help you sign up. Don't sit on the sideline. Get in the game. Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to Thursday Night Football Overtime. You know how good it feels to say that? Feels good to be back like cook crack, talking about the National Football League Hall of Fame game 2023, New York Jets, Cleveland Browns. Look, nobody gives a shit about the game. All right, we all know that none of the starters are going to play. It's going to be a low quality, low grade brand of ball. But guess what? Guys are fighting for their livelihood, fighting for jobs. And it's just good to see professional tackle football on the screen again. Happy New Year! Happy New Year to everybody out there. A new season is upon us. And that feels great. And what this represents, it's not about the game. And I say this every year. It's not about the game itself, but rather what this game represents. And what this game represents is that we will not go another week without football for the next 6 months. And that includes college football, because there is a new gap now with the lack of a fourth preseason game. There is that gap at the end of August, into September, that exists. College football fills that gap now. So we won't be without football for the next 6 months. That's what this game represents. And so here we are. Man, does this feel good. So just quickly on the game itself, before we even get to that, we got to start with DeMarcus Ware. Now, you know what? Before I jump on DeMarcus Ware, and I know he did it for a good cause. You don't have to try to chastise me and wag your little finger. He did it for Demaryius Thomas. I love Double Eight just as much as anybody else, and that's his friend and all of that good jazz. There are other ways he could have, given a tribute to Demaryius Thomas. All right. That was a terrible rendition of the national anthem. It was, look, I'm not going to kill him. I'm just going to say, where's the black dude with the trumpet when you need him? Okay. The running joke last year was like, damn, can't they find somebody else? Anytime they run out of names, anytime they can't find somebody to sing or they're trying to be cheap, they call up the black dude. He gets on the trumpet and he plays the hell out of that shit. And I go, there he goes. They could have used him tonight. Don't ever do that again. Okay. Don't ever allow a player who thinks he can sing to go up there and sing. Let's not do that again. Okay. All right. Cool beans. Anyway, the Hall of Fame game is supposed to be more about the players that are getting in, that are being enshrined in Canton, and them kind of being celebrated the entire weekend than it is about the actual game itself. As you can see right now, they're having technical difficulties with the lighting, and I don't know if they're going to finish the game. Who cares? They should just cancel the rest of the game. It's whatever, 19, 14, 19, 17, whatever the damn score is. Just go ahead. And again, part of the reason they don't want to do that is because they haven't talked to all the Hall of Famers yet. And that's where I want to go next. Deion Sanders brought this up a couple of years ago. I am a gatekeeper for the Hall of Fame. I am the Hall of Fame police. And the problem that I have is that I feel like they're letting too many players, executives, coaches, et cetera, into the Hall of Fame. And not that there's a criteria, because it's subjective, but I know, to me, the purest Hall of Fame that exists, and I'm not saying that it's right, But the purest Hall of Fame that exists is baseball, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. They'll go an entire cycle and nobody gets in. They don't give a shit. You don't get the requisite amount of votes, you're not getting in. And it's a tough process, and few get in. Usually it's 2 or 3 guys that get in at a time. There were 9 ex-players, coaches, or executives that got into the Hall of Fame this year. And I don't want to call it an underwhelming class because there were some guys in there, but there's some players that I look back on and I've watched their entire careers and maybe I just don't remember them the way that others do. Because there's really good, there's great, there's dominant, and then there's Hall of Fame. And I think dominant and Hall of Fame are so close that people kind of bleed them together. And, sometimes that's fine. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have let him in. But okay, I could see it. He was pretty dominant during his day, right? But too many of those guys in that great category are being swept into the dominant category and somehow finding their way into the Hall of Fame. And I'm just thinking to myself, should he be in there? I don't like Leroy Butler is not a Hall of Fame player to me. I'm sorry. He's not. And maybe I'm misremembering his career. Yeah, he created the Lambeau Leap. That is great. That is fantastic. He was a really good football player. He was a great football player. He wasn't dominant, and he wasn't Hall of Fame. But they're it feels like Tony Boselli, I'm sorry, should not be in the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. He shouldn't be. I could go down the rabbit hole. I'm not going to. But I don't want to do this because I don't want to demean anybody's career. But if you're going to keep letting these people in, you're going to let these players in, these executives, these coaches in, then maybe Deion Sanders is right. Maybe you need tiers. Again, now you're getting into this subjective thing. You're going down a slippery slope. I don't think you can do that, but I feel like it's getting out of control. I'll say that. But anyway, I digress. The game itself, let's talk about the game. So my biggest draw for this game was Zach Wilson. He played the entirety of the first quarter. They pulled him after that. He had one deep ball completion down the sideline. It was a beautiful throw. It was an even better catch. Outside of that, he looked like Zach Wilson from last year. Now, he didn't turn it over, which is a positive, but he didn't really do anything necessarily to move the needle. It's the first preseason game. It's going to be a process with him. You want to see growth. If you're a Jets fan, this preseason is going to be big because you're hoping you don't see him unless you're blowing somebody out. You're hoping you don't see Zach Wilson at any point throughout the 2023 season. So the preseason is going to be huge for him because if Aaron Rodgers is upright and he's playing ball, you're not going to see Zach Wilson at all. So hopefully he's able to take advantage of these reps. Mentally, they say he's really soaking up all of the knowledge from Aaron Rodgers. He's really been like his shadow. And these are all the things that you want to hear from a young quarterback that has been struggling in his first 2 NFL seasons, particularly last year. And he was struggling with the role of being a leader last year, in particular, and accountability and all of those things, not just his play on the field. So solid start for him. Nothing, again, out of the ordinary. Nice deep ball. We know he's fully capable of that. Arm strength and arm talent has never been a question for him. Most of it is up here. It was health in college, and then it's up here at the pro level. So, you weren't going to see anybody from the Browns noteworthy. Kellen Mond stinks. So I think we reiterated that tonight. I don't think he's going to make this Browns roster. And so that's that. But I did like the 3rd-round pick out of Tennessee, Tillman. I think he looked good tonight. If you're a Browns fan, that's encouraging because I do think the Browns could use some more oomph at the receiver position. So, I think that there's a place for him on the field, on the roster, and he could contribute right away in his rookie season. Big body, good frame, And I liked the way he played tonight, caught the football physically. I think he's a guy that can help them. I'm excited about DTR, though. And I was a huge fan of his coming out as a late round pick. I thought he would be a guy that really would start gaining some interest in day number 3 in the 4th round. And I think the Browns ended up getting him in the 5th or 6th round. I was shocked that he lasted as long as he did. But I am a big fan of his. I think he's in a really good spot behind Deshaun Watson. And I wanted him to land somewhere like Cleveland, where there was a mobile quarterback in front of him so that the offense would be very similar when he came into the game. Baltimore would have been a great spot for him as well. But he looked good, man. He came in. I think he led a 90-some-odd yard drive, used his legs, had a couple of nice throws in there, threw a block at the end. Our poor guy, Jimmy Moreland, was the recipient of that block, and then had the audacity to whiff on the tackle. Oh, Jimmy. You'll forever be the people's champ, but I don't smell what you're cooking right now. Anyway, DTR came in and played well, on that one possession. Looks like they're on the move again, and they're down 16-14. And DTR is looks like he's orchestrating another drive here. And this is fun too. So, and that's what they just ran read option with him, and that end crashed down. They got Will McDonald the 4th in the game, and that's the Jets' 1st round pick, and he's still in the 4th quarter, but they're getting him that work. Oh, touchdown. Hey, DTR is in here doing the thing, man. DTR is out here doing that thing. I like that kid, man. I liked him at UCLA. I thought he could spin it. I thought he had some really good athleticism. And to me, he is the type of quarterback that the NFL is moving towards. And guys like Josh Johnson, who keep getting opportunities in the league, apparently Josh Johnson is extremely smart, soaks up information quickly, which is why he's lasted in the NFL so long and been on so many different rosters, is because he can come in and kind of absorb a playbook and go out and run an NFL offense, only having been there for 2 or 3 days, whatever the case may be. I've seen it firsthand. He did it with Washington about 3 years ago or so, maybe 4 now. Maybe 5. It was about 2018, I think it was. So 5 years ago, maybe. Anyway, DTR kind of reminds me of him in terms of the skill set. Good athlete, good arm, is able to make plays off schedule. And he's carving up the Jets, defense right now. And there are a lot of those players on the field for the Jets right now are going to be on that Jets roster more likely than not. So it's not like he's just playing against a bunch of dudes that may not be in the league in 3 weeks. But DTR is making a statement. I mean, he's better than Kellen Mond, that's for sure. And he's going to jump and leapfrog him. I think they already have a veteran behind Deshaun Watson in Cleveland, and neither one of those guys played tonight. And I think Mond is the 3rd quarterback, and he and DTR were, I guess, battling it out for the 3rd spot. I don't even think after tonight it's much of a competition. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to look it up. I don't have my mobile device on me, but I'm going to look up and see who the Jets or the Browns, rather, backup quarterback is. Browns roster, and see who they have at quarterback, because I don't know if he's ready. I don't think he's ready to jump to number 2 on the depth chart, but this was impressive. They have Joshua Dobbs. Now, he's not going to leapfrog Joshua Dobbs on the roster. So, but again, 3 quarterbacks with similar skill sets. Dobbs isn't quite the athlete that Dorian DTR is. And he's definitely not the athlete that Deshaun Watson is. But Dobbs, when he first came out, was a similar athlete to Deshaun Watson and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So, 3 quarterbacks, similar skill sets. It's a good spot for DTR, and I think he's going to flourish there. And who knows? Browns may be able to flip him 2-3 years from now. That's always the hope when you draft a late round quarterback is, can you New England Patriots that dude and finesse somebody into taking your table scraps and giving you a decent meal for it. We'll see, man. Dorian Thompson Robinson looks really good. DTR looks really good. 2 touchdown drives for him so far in this game as the Browns take the lead. Anyway, I mean, that's it. I really don't have a lot for you tonight. My biggest thing was just to come on here and celebrate that football's back. And that's what this stream was designed to do. And now we await the Hard Knocks series to start. Obviously, this will be up there. And we'll see what they decide to spotlight on Hard Knocks. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is going to be a huge part of the storyline. Zach Wilson has to be a part of that storyline as well. But then they're going to choose a rookie, more likely than not, an undrafted guy or a late round draft pick that's trying to make the roster that they're going to follow. So we know that's probably going to come as well. And then, you know, you see what else they can. You'll learn some of the personalities of some of the coaching staff. You know what would be really dope is if we get a little bit of that sauce. And I'm not talking Gardner. I'm talking about some of this beef that was cooking up between Nathaniel Hackett and Sean Payton. It'd be nice if they cook some of that beef on air, right? Don't cook that off air and bypass it like it didn't happen. No, cook that shit on the air. Medium. Let's go medium rare. All right. You know what I just learned, by the way? I'm a vegan, so I don't eat steak anymore, but that doesn't matter. I've eaten steak before. You know what I just learned? That red stuff that you see when the steak is medium done or medium rare, you know what that red stuff isn't blood? This entire time I was grossed out and I want my shit well done, you know, because I don't want to see any blood. That's not blood. What? What? I was floored. Yeah, I was like 2 weeks ago, years old when I found that out. I was like, who knew? I didn't know, but it doesn't matter. I'm never eating another steak again in life, so it doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter, but I did not know that. You learn something new every day. That's what they say. Anyway, I hope that we get some of that action. Sean Payton, Nathaniel Hackett beef going back and forth. Aaron Rodgers jumping in with his 2 cents. I'd love to see a little bit of that being played out on the screen. We'll see if they allow that to happen or if the Jets shoot it down and say, nope, you can't air that. You can't make that a part of the episode. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. Anyway, Hall of Fame game is going to be in the books here. I think we're into the final about 6 or 7 minutes of the Hall of Fame game. There was a brief delay due to the lighting. We got 8 minutes and about 15 seconds and counting remaining in the game. We're at the point now where most of the guys that are in the game probably aren't going to make the squad at this point. But, you know, maybe 1 or 2 of them will. But in any event, football is back, baby. It is back. You just feel good. And you feel that energy now. All of the camp stuff, I can't wait till I start talking about all these different teams because you forget. I told you the off season in the NFL is long, and you forget sometimes. Like I forgot that OBJ. Shame on you if you step to the old dirty bastard, the old dirty Beckham, ODB. I forgot he was in Baltimore. You know, little things like that aren't actually very little can sneak under the radar and you can forget about it when you don't talk about it. So there's going to be some interesting conversations that will be had when we get into these divisions and in these teams as we really start to pick and prod and probe. Did you guys see that catch, by the way? I know I'm just all over the place, but I'm about to wrap it up. Did you see the catch by George Pickens in Pittsburgh at practice? Man, I like George Pickens a lot. That's a hell of a catch. But did you see what he did afterwards? you talk about starting a fight. That's how you start a fight in camp, right? So he makes the catch. One-handed in the air, just crazy sick catch, right? Comes down, is talking his shit, which is you're supposed to do. You make a catch like that, you got to let the guy know, yeah, I did that on you. But then he flips him the ball like, here, you take it. Catch. Since I just did that to you, here, take it. Come on. Are you trying to start a little brouhaha in camp? The coach had to come over, stop the guy from running up on him. Like, bro, come on, man. It was sick, though. It was sick. Anyway, I digress. Let's see. Got a super chat. I do have a super chat here. Got a super chat here from Video Channel. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, Sam Howell and Lou going for an interview at a steakhouse. Good one. Good one. Yeah, that's something that people continue to, and I could tell. I watched the interview with Kay Adams, and she brought it up, and you can see he was like, this shit again. And he even said, like, I'm tired of talking about it, but people keep bringing it up. He's like, I wish I ate steak so people could stop. Like, that's how you know it's bad, when some shit you don't even like, you're like, I wish I liked it so people could just stop talking about the shit. It's getting old now. And she's like, well, I'm sorry I brought it up. And he's like, nah, it's all good. People do it all the time. I'm used to it. I ain't even tripping over it. But that was funny to me. Me and Sam doing an interview at the steakhouse. Good one. Abel Ambrosio. Stand up. You in the building as always. Appreciate you for being a member. 9 months. For my guy Abel AA. Writes, in your opinion, which was the best Hard Knocks? Oh man, there were some really good ones. Chad Ochocinco headbutted his then girlfriend at the time when he was in Miami and got cut, and they filmed him sitting down with then head coach Joe Philbin so that he could get cut. It was riveting television. That was a really good one. The Lions last year was really good. It didn't have that one like moment like the Dolphins camp did. The Raiders won that year with Antonio Brown was just a shit show, which made it great for theater. This guy, remember, he froze his feet in cryogenics. He got into it with Mike Mayock on the field, and I mean, it was something every week with this dude in Vegas. So that was a good one too. If you're just talking from a drama standpoint, there have been other ones that have been just good, like good, clean, wholesome television and nothing crazy, just seeing a team behind the scenes. But those ones are the ones that stick out to me. And there probably was some really good ones back in the day. I know the Ravens, the 2000 Ravens, I think they were on there the year after they won the Super Bowl in 2001. They had a bunch of characters on that team. You had Ray Lewis. You had Shannon Sharp, Tony Siragusa. So I imagine that one was probably pretty good. There have been some really bad ones too, but those are the ones that stand out to me. Ocho Cinco one in Miami, the one with the Raiders and Antonio Brown, and probably the Lions last year was pretty good too. Barrett Downing, stand up. My guy, BD. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. 23 months. almost 2 years. My guy, BD, has been a member. Shout out to Barrett Downing, who says, glad to have football back, Lou. Respect, my brother. Respect indeed. Football is back, man. God, it feels good. And, savor this. Cherish it. I talk about this all the time. When it comes to football, it happens so fast. I'm telling you, you're going to blink twice, and we're going to be in the middle of December or November, rather, and it's going to be like week 11, and you're going to be like, yo, the season's about to be over, man. Seems like it just started. So just like, don't rush it. I know you want to just fast forward through the preseason. No, just enjoy it, embrace it, take it, one preseason game at a time, and just savor this, because they happen so fast, man. They really, truly do. So glad to have football back, though. It's good to see professional tackle football on my television. It's a sight for sore eyes, and I can't wait until my team is on the tube, because then at least when we get into these latter stages of the game, when you want to turn your TV off, there's a reason to keep it on, because it's players that that you may be rooting for one or two of them, to try to make the roster. You see some of these guys like, hey, I didn't know this guy could ball like this. And so at least it gives those games, give it a little bit more meaning for you as a fan when it's your team, because you're looking at the back end of the roster. I have no interest in watching the Jets and Browns, the back end of their rosters, compete. So feels good indeed. Anyway, I digress. Ethan Dykes, stand up. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy Ethan, been a member for a month. Salute to you. Being a member for a month, who writes, believe in aliens, Lou. Saw a UFO in my backyard. Hey, that's what Jahan Dotson said. He saw a UFO in his backyard. I am not a conspiracy theorist when it comes to aliens, but I say that, and then out of one side of my mouth and then the other side, I'm like, but I do think there are other life forms. I don't think we're the only species that exists. Whether that's on a different planet, whether they've ever come to this planet, whether they're smart enough or they're, whatever. I can't speak to that. I don't give that stuff enough thought. But I do think there are other life forms out there. I do. So I guess by saying that, and do I think they've been here? Maybe they have. I don't know. I guess by me saying that means I think there's UFOs. I don't know. I've never seen one. Anyway, I digress. I appreciate y'all coming and kicking it with me for this brief second. Like I said, not really here to talk your head off, not really looking to try and act as if we are super excited about Jets and Browns playing their third stringers. But I am excited about football being on my television, as most of you are as well. And so celebrate. Football is back, like cook crack. Got a super chat here from Video Channel. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Video Channel writes, Utopia or Magic 2? I got no clue what you were referring to. I have no clue what you're talking about. I wish I could help you. You got to you don't have to super chat it. You can just put it in the comment section what you're talking about, and I'll read it. And whatever it is, it just probably went straight over my head. That's all. William Minot said they have decided to revoke DeMarcus Ware's Hall of Fame induction after his egregious. Hey, look, man. Hey, DeMarcus was pretty bad. You know what I was weak about was he was singing his heart out. Veins popping out of the neck, and he barely was making any noise. Like a little louder, bro. Project. There are over 10,000 people here. Project. They need to hear you. But he did the best he could, man. And again, I don't want to kill him because of what he was doing it for. He was dedicating the national anthem to his fallen teammate, Demaryius Thomas, who died from a seizure. So you have to show him a little grace because of that. But I stand firm on this. Don't ever do that again, NFL. Don't. I mean, if you're gonna do it, Hall of Fame games is the time to do it, right? Don't ever do that again. Anyway. Oh, you were talking about albums. Magic 2. Sorry. Zip right over my head. Nas's Magic 2. If you're asking me to choose between the two, without a doubt, give me Nas's Magic 2. Sorry. Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on the first installment, I guess. The season, I can't call it the season premiere of Overtime because this doesn't count, man. We'll call this a what do they call? We'll call this the pilot episode, even though it's not technically the very first one. But we'll call this a pilot episode of Overtime. We'll be back for the season premiere when we get to the Chiefs and Lions week 1, Thursday night football, drop the banner, ring night. And we're going to find out how real the Lions are as well, because so many people are jumping on I've seen this from the Lions before. This feels a little bit different because of the coaching staff and, what they've built up, and the fans are feeling it. I heard tonight that they already sold out season tickets for all the home games for the Lions this year. So good for them. Alex Erickson with a nice little return. He can do that. We know that from Washington. He can do that. I don't think they're going to be as good as everybody thinks. And we'll find out. And week 1 will be a nice little it'll be a nice test for them. It could either be a rude awakening, they get spanked, and we've seen teams get spanked in week 1 and bounce back and end up being really good. But it could be a rude awakening, or they could say and announce to the entire league, hey, we're not bullshitting here. Just like the Chiefs did it in 2018 or 17 rather, with Alex Smith. Week 1 at the Patriots, banner night, Patriots won the Super Bowl. They show up. Nobody's really expecting anything other than a Patriots victory. And they go there and they put a 40 spot on their head, start the season off like 6-0, whatever, 5-0, 6-0. And, the rest is history. They haven't lost the division since. Won the division every single year since 2017. They're the new Patriots, whether you realize it or not. They're the new Patriots. Anyway, I digress. You guys get out of here. Enjoy the rest of the Hall of Fame game. We will reconvene tomorrow for the Louie T Network podcast. Washington fans, I'll also see you for a brand spanking new episode of the Command Post Live, where we will break down training camp day number 9 back in full pads and see how that day went for the good guys. But until then, you guys enjoy the rest of the Hall of Fame game. Enjoy the rest of your evening. If you haven't already done so, check out the Louie T Network exclusives. They're back in full effect. Look, now it's August. The calendar has turned to August. Hall of Fame game is now behind us. So now it's on the horizon. The NFL season will be here before you know it. Go ahead. All the signups are readily available. The links are down in the description of this video and every other video moving forward until the time runs out for you guys to sign up. Jump in, sign up, register, pay your fees, and get in the game, man. I gave away because I didn't win shit last year. I'm just beside myself. I gave away over $2,000 in cash prizes last year. The winners and losers pool was over $1,000, and the sole survivor pool was over $400, and the weekly pick'em pool, it varied from week to week. It wasn't a ton. For whatever reason, you guys don't like playing in the weekly pick'em pool, which I enjoy thoroughly. But I think I probably gave up another 600 or 700 throughout the course of the year doing that. Man, get in on the fun. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in the game. Anyway, I digress. My guy JP, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy JP writes, Lou, my man, JP, I hope your vacation was splendid. Spent some time with the family and the in-laws, and I hope that you come back refreshed and ready to attack life with vigor. My guy JP writes, out here in Wildwood. Oh, you're still on vacation. Sorry. I don't want to end your vacation abruptly or prematurely. All right. Says, but I had to stop in and say, sup. Enjoy your vacay, man. How do you feel about the JT situation? Will he eventually get out of Indy? I spoke about it yesterday, or I think it was 2 days ago on the pod. It's a really weird situation. It could have been avoided if Irsay just kept his mouth shut, but that's not who Jim Irsay is. I don't know if he's going to get out. I think Irsay is one of those extremely petty owners that will be vindictive just to let everybody know you don't run shit, I do. So JT demanding a trade, he can't do anything. Irsay, he's under contract, so Irsay can play this game with him if he wants. He can put him on the NFI list, not pay him this year if he so chooses. They're not going to do that. That's stupid, right? That doesn't make any football sense if you're the Colts. But as far as him wanting out and them, honoring his request and looking to move him, I don't think they're going to trade him. I think most NFL owners who are petty like Jim Irsay see situations like this and treat it like a hostage situation. We don't negotiate with terrorists, right? They see Jonathan Taylor coming at them hostile like this as a terrorist act. You demanding a trade, you making a big public scene about this. I'm going to treat you like a terrorist, and we don't give in to the demands of terrorists. We don't negotiate with them. So I think they're going to shoot him down and pretty much tell him, bro, you either play for us or you don't play at all. And what is he going to do? Nothing but play football. So I don't think he's going anywhere when it's all said and done. Now, how long will he be in Indy? I think he was in that 2020 NFL draft. If I'm not mistaken, this is year 4 for him. So this is the end of his rookie contract. This is the problem when you're a running back, because it's so cheap to employ a running back. They could just franchise tag him again after next year. And then he doesn't have to sign it. He'll be in the same position as the 3 running backs that got franchise tagged this year: Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley, and Josh Jacobs. But what are you going to do? Not play football? Not sign it? Like, nobody wants to be the guy that ends up being the martyr. Nobody wants to be Colin Kaepernick. Everybody wants to stand up for what's right, but no one wants to give up what it takes to stand up for what is right. And I don't blame them. I get it. So it's a tough position to be in as a running back. You're really not in a position of power. You don't have any leverage. So I think he's gonna be in Indianapolis when it's all said and done. But we will see. Anyway, that does it for me, your man Louie T. I thank you guys for joining me. I look forward to this. Feels good, man. Haven't done this in quite a while. I haven't done this in what are we talking? August. Last time I did this was February. Yeah, 6 months. Haven't done this in 6 months. Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. I'll catch up with y'all tomorrow, LTN Pod, or for the Command Post Live. Either way, you'll see this face all up in your space. Until then, y'all know what it is. Y'all take care. God bless. Get y'all some of them LTN exclusives, man. Don't sit on the sideline. Get in the game. Good night. As the calendar turns to August, it can only mean one thing. The NFL season is right around the corner. And with that in mind, the LouieTeeNetwork exclusives are back like cook crack. Choose from any of the three or all three of the LTN exclusives: Winners and Losers League, Soul Survivor Pool, Weekly Pick'em, all at your fingertips. Links are down in the description along with the video to help you sign up. Don't sit on the sideline. Get in the game.